And hysterical though that may sound, indeed hysterical though it does sound, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening tonight, every word of what your kind host has said is regrettably true. It breaks my heart to say it, and I beg you, get onto your senator while you still can. You only have 10 days of freedom left. Already there have been scientists like James Hansen saying that anyone who argues, as I have argued, should be put on trial and executed for high crimes against humanity, because I want to keep the world free.
Yes, they want to execute.
I make no apologies.
They want to kill people that don't agree with them. Lord Monckton, let me say bye to you during the break. I really appreciate the time. Fire out your website for folks.
It's www.scienceandpublicpolicy.org. And one last point. God
well, stay there. We've got a break. We've got a break, sir. Back in 1 minute. This is Key Info. Stay with us. Lord Christopher Monckton.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Don't forget, my friends, my film, Fall of the Republic, is free online. Just Google Fall of the Republic. Watch it on YouTube, Google. Get it in high quality on DVD at Infowars.com, especially if you want to support us. A full hour of this explains the banking dictatorship using carbon tax to control our planet. Lord Monckton's with us for an additional 4 minutes to finish his point, and then I want to ask him about the prostitutes, the caviar, the jets, the limos, the open hypocrisy of these people. I mean, even by their own fraud, saying carbon dioxide is this deadly poison. Lord Monckton from Copenhagen, finishing your point.
Yes, indeed. In fact, I was just saying God bless America, which I'll cheerfully say again. But let's take up your point. There are 1,200 limousines, carbon-emitting, to drive the delegates around because it's too cold for them to walk to the global warming conference. There's a nice irony there. Just as most of the United States is blanketed in snow to a further point south than has been seen in recent history, or in some places in history at all, here we are shivering in Copenhagen too, 1,200 gas-guzzling limos, 140 private jets. Hey, I didn't even come in my private jet. All 6 of them are out for service at the moment. I came by train, which is very carbon efficient, or so we're told. And when we arrived in Copenhagen, wherever you go in Copenhagen, there are green sprayed signs saying Copenhagen. But in fact, those of us who've listened to the maundering comments of these useless national delegates in the conference chamber are calling it Copenhagen. And of course, those delegates are then rushing off down to the red light district and having fun with the prostitutes, exactly as you said, using their limos to get them there. And I suppose we might call that Gropenhagen. But either way, it is a disgrace what's going on. It shows that what is really happening here is one law for the rich and one for the poor, one for the governing class and one for the rest of us. They are not cutting their carbon footprint, but my goodness, they're going to charge you through the nose if you don't cut yours. So this is an asymmetrical conference here, which is the governing class supported by the tens of thousands of keening zombies from the environmental movement, enviro-zombies, I call them. They like to shorten all their words, so I'll do it. They're enviro-zombies. And these people are going to take away everything that is dear to us in your Constitution, every element in your freedom, every chance of prosperity, every chance of recovery from the present economic recession.
Because they want control.
They want absolute control. This is nothing less than a bureaucratic coup d'etat, which is days from succeeding.
By the way, there was an article in the London Telegraph today, ClimateGate, Barack Obama's rule by EPA decree is a coup d'etat against Congress made in Britain. And during the break, you made a parallel. The last time Copenhagen had this much propaganda was when the SS were in control.
That's right. Everywhere they're now green instead of red, white, and black. But there are banners everywhere that are deeply reminiscent of the SS. And they, of course, occupied Copenhagen and Denmark as a whole during the war. And Denmark, to do it credit, thanks to its king and the guts of its people, managed to make sure that practically no Jews got sent from Denmark to the gas chambers, because the people of Denmark stood by the Jews in the most remarkable and wonderful way. But now, Denmark's leaders are among the worst offenders in signing away the freedoms that Denmark won with the Allies during the war, precisely to prevent the kind of sinister dictatorship, all right, perhaps less violent and less brutal than what happened under the Nazis, but a dictatorship nonetheless.
Well, they just kill you by starving you to death. They just kill you like Stalin did in the Ukraine by cutting off your food.
That's right. They'll be cutting off not only your food, but your electricity. You won't be able to get up to the top of your tower block because the lift won't work, the elevator won't work, there'll be no electricity to drive it. There'll be a carbon footprint card so that everywhere you go shopping, you'll be limited to what you can have.
Lord Monckton.
To buy fuel. It's going to be a disaster unless you get onto your senator right after this.
We're out of time. Godspeed. Godspeed, sir, there in Copenhagen. Thank you so much for all your time. We'll be right back.
All.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
You could hear Lord Monckton literally frothing, wanting to warn you and tell you what's in the treaties. We have the first draft. We now have the second draft. Global government, taxes on everything. The UN says it's global government. Reading the original treaty, I knew the IMF and World Bank would run it all secretly and you'd pay your tax to them. That's what the bankers said 20 years ago. So now the third world's freaking out going, well, we've been taught to hate the West, and we've been taught that we're going to get all the middle class's money. But wait a minute. The same banks, the IMF and World Bank that raped our countries, they're going to have control of this? We thought we were going to get the power. See, that's how the scam works. But now in the internal memos, London Guardian reports Copenhagen climate summit in disarray after Danish techs leak. Developing countries react furiously to leaked draft agreement that would hand more power to rich nations, sideline the UN's negotiating role, and abandon the Kyoto Protocol. This is just going to be the private central bank's holding company, Federal Reserve, IMF, World Bank, Bank of England, Bundesbank, literally raping everyone. They will set the rules. They will administer it. You think the banks are happy with $23.7 trillion they stole in the U.S., $50 trillion worldwide? Plus, no, they want the direct power, the direct authority. As David Rockefeller said, a world government run by international banks. And now we have the internal communiques of what they're going to add in the next week and a half. World government. This is like the opposite of the Declaration of Independence, where the founders met for weeks hammering it out. This is the founders of the global tyranny who've set up this whole system, got their propaganda ready, already have a lot of their world taxes in place, openly saying, nations, sign on to be under our dictatorial, unelected control. It's happening right now. And there is TED conference and all these other big and scientific conferences working with the media to craft the propaganda. The UN admits they're running around organizing all this behind the scenes, brainwashing your kids in public schools. I mean, this is so monstrous, as Lord Monckton said. And to hear his passion, to know this is happening, to know our countries are falling to this, to know this is world government. The globalists stalled the public, telling you none of this existed, so we couldn't build organizations to fight it when they finally brought this in. But more leaks are coming out. More documents are coming out. More people are seeing this for the tyranny it is, even inside the system, and are saying no. And you guys said you printed it for me, but I couldn't find it. I want that Gore Vidal story again that's up on Infowars.com that Aaron Dykes posted. Great folks in the forum found the Playboy interview he did, calling for forced population reduction, one-child policies, a global authority, a global government to license. Same thing that's in eco-science, same thing that's in hundreds of books that these people write. This is what they want. They want you starving to death. They want you dying. They see you as a parasite. I played the winner of the Berlin Film Festival that they show kids in public schools worldwide, where humans are called a disease, a parasite,